Is it working? There's like a two-step process for me to get online. Hey, what's up? Yo, swag. There's not many left. If you are interested in a hat, I got two left. But I'd rather just see you join the website. I'll give you a free hat. I don't like charging people for swag. But if you're really dying to have a hat, look out. These are the rare ones. The black on black. The next ones are going to have a whole different logo, and they'll be black on white. Or they may never come out because I don't know if I'm ever getting them done. Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here. We were supposed to be doing a seminar today, but I don't think we're going to be doing it. Because here's the thing, and listen, I let you guys into the back office of my life, and that's what I do, right? I tell you what's up. I'm a dancing monkey. I know how to trade. It's really all I know how to do. I'm pretty funny. I'm thinking about going back on stage, by the way. If you guys are in the city, I'm going to start hitting the city now, doing some stand-up. But I really don't do anything well. I don't know how to build things. I haven't changed a tire in 20 years. I don't know if I could do that either. I can boil water. I could cook. I don't do a lot of things well. If I didn't have this, I'd be working at the supermarket, probably stocking shelves. I am not proficient in Word or Excel. I do not work well with others. I am not a team player. My resume is not good. I can articulate myself well. I would be a great addition if I got a job at an advertising company to use my creative juices, but I don't think you can get that job right away. You have to work your way up. I'm not good at having other people take credit for my work, so I probably wouldn't be good in the work environment. Plus, I'm a very flirtatious guy. I'd probably go to jail for sexual harassment within 3 days just saying somebody looks nice, because you know how it is. Plus, I don't know how society works anymore, considering I've been working at home since 2012. Why am I telling you all this? Oh, right, the backstory of my life. Well, today we were supposed to do a thing with Raging Bull, right? And the thing was supposed to be a get to know Kenny Glick event, right? And we were going to have slides and talk about. We were going to have a nice conversation. Me, Jeff Bishop from Raging Bull, a big fan, love the guy, nicest guy. Me, Spence, and Jeff were going to have a conversation about, they hit the bid room, what you get, what we provide, and we were going to offer a little discount, right? But we weren't ready to do it, right? And then I said, hey, why don't we just do it my way? Invite people, give them free access, and then they'll see what I do. Because when people say, hey, what do I get? What do I get? Is there a brochure? There's no brochure. Is there a handbook? No handbook. Is there any educational videos? No educational videos. I do a live show every day for 4 hours a day since 2007. Sometimes I go 8 hours. Sometimes I go 12 hours. Sometimes I can't stop talking. I go all the way into the nighttime session like tonight. You get me. I know more about the stock market than anybody on earth. So what do you get on top of that? Now you get a code and a VWAP setup that we have been bestowed from our pal Salagello. And if you know him, you take a session with him. It's a whole different subject, a whole different thing. But what do you get? You get me. And if you haven't noticed, I'm still doing this. 2007, you met me on YouTube, right? What's up, old fans? Appreciate you still being here. Why am I not the most famous guy on YouTube? Because I tell the truth. Nobody wants to hear that shit. It's just me talking. I don't do editing. I have no fancy thumbnails. I've never paid YouTube a dime for a view, a click. I don't even know how. I do nothing. I don't know what OBS is. I don't know what Discord is. I'm actually a curmudgeon at this point, or is it a curmudgeon? I just want to shoot the shit with you guys and show you how to make money in the market. That's what I do best. And it's $5,000 a year. And if you know anything about trading, $5,000 for a year of my time, within 2 days, you're making your $5,000 back. You got a $30,000 account, typical day trader, right? 25K or more on a day trading account. You an options trader. These last 48 hours, you would have made $5,000. Even my swing trades are working right now. ASTS, NVTS, SRAD. Come on, Tesla. What? Q's killing it, right? Irrelevant. So what we were supposed to do today, we were supposed to have this little powwow, me and the Raging Bull fella. And I like him, but we weren't ready. And the main question was, well, what are we actually trying to sell? And it's hard to do a little tiny seminar and say, all right, you're getting a year's worth of this. So what I suggest is doing it the old school way, the way I've been doing it. And if you're out there listening, this is how I do it. You come and hang out with me for 2 weeks. No strings attached. I don't need your credit card. I just need your email address and a real phone number. That's it. I need a real email address and your real phone number. That's it. And I'll explain to you why. Because after 2 weeks of you getting to know me, if you're thoroughly not flabbergasted and dying to pay to join, then I call you personally and ask you why. Because I'm curious. Because I'm assuming, let's say, and again, if these were your first 2 days with me today and yesterday, you're hooked for life. I don't even have to do anything else. You've already crushed it on everything I said. You bought the dip today, even though you thought, because you heard commentary, but Kenny, I thought you said you saw signs for the market to go down. Yeah, I saw signs. I've been seeing signs. Frickin' scanners. I've been seeing signs. I've been seeing shit for quite some time. Maybe it's all the acid I took in 1992. I did a lot of acid. What? Yeah. According to the book I read in 1995 about LSD, if you've tripped on acid 3 times, you're clinically insane. Oh, baby. I don't even know what to categorize myself then, let alone the trading environment has drove me to the point of batshit insanity, let alone all the hallucinogenics I've done back when I was a kid. What? Why am I telling you all this? Oh, I'll tell you again. Because if you're still debating, if you're out there watching this video and you haven't met me yet, come to the website. Tonight's your night. Tonight is your night, bro. Tonight is your night. All you have to do is, yo, Kenny, I've been watching you on the internet since 07. You seem to know what you're talking about, but I've been pretty lazy. Can I come join you tonight and get to know you more intimately in a special sexual way? Or non-sexual? And then you send that email address to kennyglick@aol.com, and you say you want to learn more from me and my partners, and you want to know if you could spend the next 2 weeks with me for nothing, so I can prove my worth to me, not just me. Don't forget the added bonus, our secret weapon now, as I want to call him. Solid freaking Jello, Mike Noss, the Minotaur, Viper, Dave, my son. We got a sick crew going now. We're banging out winners. The room is growing. Everybody's making money. This is a good time. So if you haven't met me or hung out, tonight's the night. Tonight is your night, bro. And if you were with us this morning, $5,000, you would have been up $5,000 already today on just three trades. QQQ long. Did you actually think we were going to have 2 down days in a row? What are you, out of your fucking mind? Did you see my face yesterday? Did you see the video? That's a man that knew there was no way the short was going to last. That's why I was so giddy when it was happening, right? You got to enjoy those moments when you're actually making money on a short position because you know it's not going to last. You're not foolish, are you? Because everything you needed to know about shorting today, CoreWeave was a short, right? And CoreWeave was a short yesterday. And CoreWeave was a short today because it confirmed the blow off top that it happened yesterday. And CoreWeave was a short. Is it still a short now? Of course not. Because shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. And that's $5,000 worth of information right there. So what I love doing, right, as the ex-president of the Bear Foundation of America, I'm now just a traveling secretary, not even that. But every day I come in with intentions, all right, prove it to me. Prove it to me. If I'm ever going to short the market again, the market has to prove it, has to qualify and prove it that it's worth even attempting to short. And every day it's not. And we just go the other way. So I can be talking a whole bunch of shit. Oh, I saw some signs. And the next day, those signs are gone because the market never goes down. But enough talk. If these last 2 days were your first 2 days, you would have made your $5,000. And I'm not talking about laying out 200 grand in my 5 grand. You laid out a couple $1,000 on a couple of trades, you're up 5 Gs. And they're still working. ASTS was still in it. Q's long, still in it. Right? NVTS, still in it. SRAD, still in it, buying it every day. I told you my fund was buying SRAD every day, and you chose to ignore it. Do you see the accumulation in SRAD? Who do you think that is? That's me. I'm accumulating the stock. I'm doing you a favor. I'm telling you there's a stock under accumulation. I gave it to you a month ago at $22. I said, wait for the earnings to come out, buy it if it dips. And now we got, now it's 12.5, 15%. I know it's not 300% like you're used to on every other fucking stock that seems to be ripping. Yeah, it's not CoreWeave going from 40 to 160, but again, everything is working right now. And if you're still wondering, there will be a day, whether it be this year or 2027 or 2028 or maybe never, where we actually have a blow off top that breaks prior lows and breaks a 5-day VWAP and validates us to the point where we could actually possibly stay short for more than 7 minutes or a couple of hours. Because right now we're in the 7-minute tops short market. You cannot short anything for more than 7 minutes, or you're just going to lose your money. But we'll talk more about that tonight. Hopefully I'll see you guys. If you haven't been around, join us. I'm 53. I got a good 5 more years of this at least. And to my friend Kevin out there, no, there is no such thing as a lifetime subscription. And yes, I am still getting emails from people wondering where I went. I will explain that story one more time for you, Kevin, so I don't have to call you. I was working for this company called MMP, and it was awesome, fantastic. I was running my show on hitthebid.com, and they were taking my show and simulcasting it for about an hour and a half on their website. That's all it was. They called it the Warlock's World, right? I never stopped doing my business. My website was still up and running. They were just simulcasting what I was doing on my website, on their website. That's what it was. That's all it was. I was an employee that was being simulcasted. I was worked there. I didn't own the company, and they sold you the right to hang with me for an hour and a half, or I think it was 2 hours a day. You were being simulcasted, a show that I was already doing on my own website, right? So what happened was, because I'm a jack of all trades that knows everything and I know more than everybody else, and I was kicking ass big time. And then I like to have some fun. Someone says something that I find to be wrong, I like to call them out. That's a terrible idea. That's an awful trade. You shouldn't do that trade. If someone says, again, I have a thicker skin than most, I guess. But if someone says, what Kenny just said is a terrible idea, this is what I think, and then I say, well, I think you're going to be wrong. But when I started calling people out on that other website, they got all bitchy about it. And that's where the crack started. And that's where Scan Man was born. You guys know about Scam Man. There was Scam Man and the Scan Man. I'm Scan Man, scanning all the scans that a Scan Man can. So the reason I was fired from that company, right, was because I was a jack of all trades. There's not much for me to sell because I do it all. I'm not going to invent a scanner that is just part of what I do to try to sell it to you, right? It's not what I do. That's also a scam with an M, Scam Man. Creating things that don't do anything and try to sell them to the people, knowing that they don't do anything. It's fraud. And I didn't want to be part of that, right? So anyway, I'm just an employee, and they were selling what was called a lifetime subscription. Now here's where the joke was. Every morning, I would say, welcome to the lifetime subscription, blah, blah, blah. I don't know whose lifetime they're talking about, certainly not my lifetime. But that was the joke. There were people in the chat room that thought that a lifetime subscription to a product on a website meant that you owned me as a human being, as if you could come to my house and I'm your slave. I could just cook you dinner. Why don't you come over? I'll paint your house. I'll do all kinds of shit for life, right? And there were people actually that believed that lifetime subscription to me personally. So if you read, and again, this is where there was no crime being committed. I was fired because there was no, they didn't make any, they weren't making any money off me because I was only selling the one product. I started to ridicule some of their other people, and they didn't like that, which again, grow up. If my mom gave me a bad idea, I would tell my mom with the same fervor and, you know, veracity as anybody else. Your idea stinks. Like the guy that was telling people to sell naked calls ahead of an earnings report. And as soon as he was done, I was like, don't do what that guy told you to do. It's an irresponsible trade. The risk reward is clearly not in your favor. Why would you do this trade? And some people get burnt or bent or off put by that shit. That's how this whole industry works. You fraud, you scam artist. There's always going to be somebody on the other side of every trade. If you can't take it, you take it personally that I call you inept. You're telling people to buy or short a $12 stock that's already fallen 92%. And I think that's the dumbest idea in the world. And I say you should be buying this thing and do the opposite of what this guy's saying. And of course, I was right. And you get all bent out of shape because I was right and you were wrong. That's a you problem. So anyway, the lifetime subscription that people bought, there was a handful of people that thought I quit. All right, so here's what I do. So I'm over here. This is hit the bid over here. I'm over here now, right? Hey man, I'm liking this blah blah blah. Yeah, we're trying to do the VWAP. Is man. Yeah, my wife never has sex with me. And we're having a good time, and we're talking. Over here, they were just simulcasting what I was doing over here. So these guys over here were paying me to do what I was already doing. Who would quit that job? They were paying me to do something I was already doing. It was the greatest time of my life. Not bullshitting you, but inevitably, they couldn't figure out a way to make more money from me. And they said, all right, we're done with you. But they put it out there as if I quit. Why would I quit? They said I quit so then they wouldn't have to deal with all you people. They wanted to put the blame on me that the product disappeared. But now here's where I could be mad. But what I got mad at was that they perpetrated this idea that a lifetime subscription somehow entitled you to my personal life. But if you read the contract that you bought into, you bought a subscription to the simulcast for the lifetime of that simulcast existence on that website. If that website that you bought the simulcast on decides to shut me down, that's not on me. That's on them. And I raised my hand and I was like, listen, I'll take all these people over to my website. And they, well, then you have to, and they said, you have to accept liability for refunds. I'm like, what? I'm not refunding anybody anything because I was just an employee. I was never paid that money for the subscriptions. They got paid. I got paid an employee wage. I got paid a wage. You understand? So when you bought a lifetime subscription, it wasn't a lifetime subscription to me or hit the bid or anything that I'm doing. You bought a lifetime subscription to the simulcast that was on their website. And by the way, part of the reason that they really got mad at me was that I said, if you're getting rid of me, that implies that your entire company is going out of business. And they were pissed when I said that. And guess what? I was right. They don't even exist anymore. Poof. Without me, the whole thing crumbled. And I never stopped doing what I do. So, Kevin, I will email you tonight and you can watch this video and that explains it. But what we did do, right, was I was such a nice guy because I love being nice and helping people. For a very minimal fee, I took everybody on and I said, you can get 2 years now of, I'll make you good. You just got to pay just a little maintenance fee to keep the lights on. And that's what we did. And everybody was made whole. And if you truly believe, if you're still out there and you still got something to say, call me. I'll tell you even more of the gory details that went on. And there's not much more to say about it because I was treated well up until the last minute. They were hyping me up, promoting me, doing the right thing. The lifetime subscription, people just got misinformed, or they weren't even misinformed. You just didn't understand. There's no such thing as a lifetime subscription to a human being. That's called slavery. And most places it's been outlawed. You feel me? But what I do is tonight we'll be hanging out. So let's get together. We'll talk some more about the levels that we're at, the inability of the market going down. You guys heard about this power gap, right? Yeah. We're still in the power gap. It's now a month and 2 days from the last power gap. We haven't even flirted with the power gap candle, let alone the idea of this market ever going down again. I'm thinking inevitably the new down will be up 3 to 5%. That'll be it. Oh my God, the market only went up 5% this year. I know it went down last year, but it was up. Yes. What do you mean? Who's on first? Exactly. You mean it was up, but it was down? Right. And then soon we'll be just doing 50% years. So I'm thinking Qs legitimately 1200. 1200. 18 months from now, right? Are there $1,000 calls on the Qs? Let's go see. Let's go buy them. Just for joke, let's go buy the longest dated option we could find right now, live. What's the longest one you could go out? So let's go all the way December 2027, right? December 2027. I'll say the Qs are around, I don't know, they'll be 960 by then. So let's see. Wow, these are expensive options. Holy shit. What? What year is this? All right, so this is basically 2.5 years away. Then the 700, somebody bought them today, 2 contracts. The 795s for 12. The 795s for 12. Stupid. That's the furthest you can go out. Yeah, it's too expensive. Let's see, 10% going into the end of the year gets us to 600. Next year we tack on 37%. So, I mean, we're probably ending the year where I would say 605 this year, if not next week, 605 on the Qs. And then plus, I'm going to go another 27.8%. Yeah, that gets us to 773. That's actually not. So if you buy the 795s for 12, you still got another year. By December 2027, yeah, we could be at 1,000 on the Qs, right? Maybe even 1,500 because, again, we haven't even got into space yet. We just entered space. Like we just got out of the atmosphere of the Earth. Now we're in the stratosphere. We haven't even got to space, let alone outer space yet. You know the movie reference, Armageddon? This is just space. We haven't even got to outer space yet. Wait till people like my uncle want to get back into the market. That's when the Qs are down about 1,200. I'm not joking with you. We crashed 2.5 times in less than a year. That's a lot. underneath. When we lift off, we're going to have a 50% rally. And you're not even going to believe what you're seeing. It's going to make that August, you're going to have that April 9th candle. It's going to be like an everyday occurrence where we're just tacking on we're going to have 8% days. And the next day we're going to go up 12% and then 20%. The market's going to be up 100%. I've seen it happen. I've seen the NASDAQ double in a year. I think it's going to happen again. Because why not? But to your point, James Bond, it would be fucking nice to have a little pullback because shit, I came in today, there you go, Rhea, let's go. CHYM. Let's just buy it. It's an IPO. CHYM. I'm in. Let's go. Oh, now I'm losing $20 already. What's going on here? What did I just do? What'd you get me into this? So what is it already down 5 points? I'm up $8 now. This doesn't look good. CHYM. Let's see. This don't look good at all, man. What are you guys getting involved in? You haven't had an uptick in 5 minutes. Breaks 39. This thing goes to 37.50 in 2 seconds. Bye-bye. Now, that's typically what an IPO does. Opens up and it dumps because IPOs suck. But this market's been so awesome that the IPOs have been good. By the way, what I say, breaks 39, goes to 37.50. That's market mechanics, bitch. Now, if it breaks 37.50, where do you think it's going to go? You guessed it, 35. So if you're looking to buy a dip on this thing, you can't play the dip here at 38 because computers like the 37.50 better. So you got to give it a second. Holds 38, holds 38, holds 38. Maybe you get something, but you got to wait to see what happens. You don't want to buy the first attempt to hold a big fat whole number, even though it just popped off that whole number. Not bad. So think about what those players were doing. They bought the 38 hold. Now they'll sell into this move and they'll use 38 as their stop on whatever they got left. So that's why when it breaks 38, you're gonna whoop it down. Probably get to 37.50. 37.50 doesn't hold. Next thing you know, they'll halt this piece of shit and it'll break down and it'll be at $2 because most IPOs suck. Like don't be blindsided by the couple that we had that were working out. ARM was pretty good. A-Lab was pretty good. Before that, we had the Reddit. We nailed that one. CoreWeave, pretty special. Even Newsmax. But the Newsmax, well, shit, you just got the double bottom at 38. Look at that. But most IPOs suck. And they roll over. The volume dries out. Like Mountain. We had a good 2 days. Where'd the volume go? Nobody cares. Poor Ryan Reynolds, right? If one day this stock breaks back above, new highs, I'd rather buy it on the way up. And that's the truth. If these IPOs, let's say this Chime Financial, let's say it doesn't rally again today, and you sit here under 40 for the next couple of days, then it breaks 40, buy it. More importantly, let's say it just sits here and does nothing for a year. It stays between $38 and $43. Today's high print, $44.94. When it breaks it, buy it. Because 9 times out of 10, when an IPO breaks all-time highs, it is off to the races. Like the CoreWeave, like the ARM, like the ones that worked. By the way, double bottom at 38. These guys are getting paid now. I ain't going near it. By the way, APLD, this thing's been hot. Still rocking. Yeah, that close to 37.50, I had to wait. Normally I would get in at a whole number hold. When it held the second time, I should have pressed the button. That would have been a nice little 2 point rip there. But this IPO, again, doing something a little different than the last couple, went straight down after it came out. But at 41.30, you're talking about today's VWAP, and we're in a psychotically bullish market. So, but you see how it held the whole number, right? Brand new stock, never been out there, still half numbers and whole numbers, half numbers and whole numbers. The whole market is rigged. Even a brand new stock that's been out for 20 minutes, already showing you rigging. Half numbers, whole numbers. Whole numbers hold. You'll find support. Sometimes you rally. And this is now turning into a pretty decent move. 3 points off the 38. You hesitate. Talk about bull markets. You hesitate for a second. You miss the best part of the move, right? Just like selling in May and going away, right? If you sold in May and went away, you just ruined 2025. You're not going to, and that's why the market can't go down. So everybody that got out in April or didn't dip, or worse, got short. That's why this market's it's virtually impossible for the market to go down right now, because everybody wants in. Shorts want to cover and the longs are chasing. And now everybody who missed May, they're like, oh my God, the bears are thinking, oh, maybe the June swoon will come and I'll get to make my money back. No, there's no June swoon. Next thing you know, it'll be July and we'll be talking about earnings season again. Apple's going to blow out the number again, and all that bullshit about Apple not having a new product, blah, 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 bullshit. Oh, retail's having a problem. Amazon will blow out their number. I guess retail's okay. Next thing you know, we're ripping higher, and you're sitting here looking at the Qs at 620. See, the wonderful part about what I just said, I could be completely wrong about that. I don't think I'm going to be wrong, but I'm certainly not shorting the market any longer. I'll play a pullback like yesterday, but I'm coming in every morning ready to crush the shorts, because I know better than everybody when not to get short now. Because I used to get short at the worst possible times and get killed. Now I'm on the other side of that trade. It took me 30 years to finally realize, even with VWAP, I still would make that mistake. No more of that shit. And that's why I'm so hip to what this market's doing right now, especially after 2 mini gaps and a power gap. You guys heard about that power gap, right? Right? Nothing's changed. And nothing will change. What's up? Still listening? So tonight, we're going to review what power gaps are and what they look like, because what's about to happen on ASTS is a power gap. I could feel it, I could smell it, and I'm already pissed off about it. Why? Because I'm going to be a victim to the power gap. So I don't know what to do right now. So why am I getting already angry at something that hasn't happened yet? Because I feel it's inevitable. I'm in an ASTS call spread, and now I need it to go up tomorrow. When you need something to happen, it generally doesn't happen. We've made money on the trade, yes, but these call spreads that I put on for Friday are now negative, because I bought them while the market was ripping, when ASTS was ripping higher on Monday, right? So the reason a call spread stinks is that it generally keeps you in the trade that you don't even want to be in, because when you trade options, what do you want? You're buying a disintegrating product. So you want that trade to work as quickly as possible. You want the biggest and best move to happen as soon as humanly possible. And what is a call spread? The opposite of that. The call spread says, I could buy these $37 calls for $1.50. I could sell the 43s for 15 cents. Okay. So I'm risking $1.38 to make $5. Oh, that sounds like a good trade. Then the next day, the stock pops. Your $37 calls are up 100%. The 43s that you wrote are barely budging. You're like, all right, cool. But you don't want to get out, because now the 43s are slightly against you. You have the call spread. Your intentions to hold the call spread to see if it gets to the call to get called away. Or in this case, what happened was, by the way, GitLab, if my son is paying attention, he's supposed to be long GTLB right now, you nudnik. The reason the call spread stinks is because when you get that quick move like we got that first day, and then it sits around for 2 or 3 days, next thing you know, the premium on the one that you bought, because we're generally buying in the money calls and selling out of the monies, the out of the monies went up percentage-wise. You know, if you sold them at 15, they were at 25. Percentage-wise, it's big against you. It's only 10 cents. But you're thinking, all right, I don't want to take the loss on the calls. Let's see what the stock does. And the next day it does nothing. And the next day it does nothing. And the next day it goes up. And here we are. The stock's at 37, higher from where we did the call spread, but we're losing money on the call spread because the time got us. So now we need the stock to rip to at least, 37.85 tomorrow. I think we're going to get it. But more importantly, the power gap that's about to happen on ASTS is what I want to talk about. So you understand the market doesn't want you to make money. Maybe that's just me, but I'm jaded and cynical, and that's the way I feel. The market doesn't want you. It wants you off its back. That's what the faux show bros are. That's what the jiggles are, the shuffling. The market's trying to get you off the good name or the good trade before the big move. If ASTS does not rally into the close tonight, and we don't get this thing flirting with 39 tomorrow, can you smell that? Opportunity? No. Money. Look at his face. By the way, I just watched The Big Short twice in the last 4 days, so I know every line's fresh in my head. What's that smell? My cologne? ASTS and the sneaky bastard scum that these market makers are, they got their orders on. The orders are already there. The guy that wants to put on another 18 million shares of ASTS, that order's out there already. The market makers are working the order now. You know that. The question is, do they want to allow the gamblers with their options that expire tomorrow to get paid? Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't. So if this stock, ASTS specifically, sits around all day today and then sits around all day tomorrow, I'm calling Power Gap Monday, breaking over 40. And again, we'll address more of this tonight. There is no way in hell you don't want to be long ASTS over the weekend. Because if it power gaps above 39.08 on Monday, any psychotic shorter who had even this inclination that he could stay short the stock any longer, they're giving up. It's a year-long consolidation breakout on a power gap. This fucker's going to 50 on Monday if that's how it plans out, because everybody who's been debating whether to buy it, wait for a pullback. If they power gap it into all-time highs, there will be no coming back, just like the Qs. Power gap and go. So don't fuck around. Don't miss a stock that not just goes to 50, but 80, 120, and I'm going to put a price target on ASTS, $390.80. Next week, next Friday. I'm feeling pretty bullish. All right? I'm calling for a 1,000% return on ASTS in the next 5 days. Does that float your boat? Would you be happy with 2 points? I'll be happy with 2 points. But if it goes up the extra 98, that'd be awesome as well. But you can't wait. Just like on April 9th, you waited. Ooh, is it safe? Then you waited another week. Ooh, is it safe? And then you waited another week. Ooh, is it safe? And then you gapped. Well, I guess it's safe. Is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe? I don't know. Yeah, it's fucking safe. What do you want from me? Yeah, it's safe. It's safe. What do you want? What movie? If you don't know that movie, why don't you just leave? Is it safe? Of course it's safe. And then on May 11th, while you were still debating whether to cover your shorts or go long, they power gapped that. Power gap. So if they power gap ASTS on Monday, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to sell off? After everything I taught you about power gaps, this thing, you could smell the power gap you could smell it. I love the smell of a power gap on a Monday. And don't be afraid. If ASTS is over 39.08 on Monday, don't be afraid. Don't be that, oh, I wish I bought it Friday. Don't wait. Remember, it's not where it was and what you missed. Where is it going? Right? I learned that from my wife. You know why? My wife's not a trader. But her looking at my stupid face for 25 years, she knows every dumb face. She's like, wait a minute, that's the face of you sold the stock and now it's going higher without you and you don't want to buy it back. I'm like, yes, that's the face. And then she says, well, do you think it's going higher from here? Yes. So then buy it back. But I just sold it. Do you think it's going higher from here? Yes. Well, then buy it back. But I was waiting for it to. And she's right. It'd have been lovely if you joined in with us at 27.50 and 30 and 32.50, but you didn't. That doesn't mean it's not going to break 39.08 and go to 50. At least make those 11 points. And when it breaks 50, it goes to 80. And then 80 gets you 120. And then it gets taken over by Tesla. Tell your mom about me. How's your mom doing? By the way, I've been working on a Denzel Washington impression. I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with a Denzel Washington impersonation. I've never done a Denzel, so forgive me. Hold on. I got to stretch out for this one. This is Denzel. Have you guys seen Gladiator 2? Gladiator 2. Have you seen you know who Denzel Washington is, right? Right? Equalizer. You know, a lot of other movies. But of course, Training Day, right? Frank Lucas. Whatever that movie was called. I love that movie. So they throw Denzel Washington into Gladiator 2 just for the name. You know that's what it was because they had a sneaky suspicion it wasn't going to be as successful as Gladiator 1. How could it be? So they throw Denzel in there. And Denzel Washington, for some reason, is up for an Academy Award for his role in Gladiator. I think they just, Denzel was in a movie? All right. You might as well put him for the award. Here is Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2. All right. I'm in Rome now. All right, no guns. All right, we got swords. All right. What do we do? All right, what are we doing here? All right, we got coliseums. We got lions. All right. That's all I got. Because that's basically Denzel Washington in every movie. And they just threw him into a Roman gladiator movie, and he was the same guy. Fucking genius! I don't understand movies anymore. I can't watch TV. I don't know what the hell's going on. But buy some Bon Voyage, and not in a good way. Oh, it's not a good one? All right, there's lions. Okay. He's the same guy in every movie. Genius! You want the same guy in every movie who's awesome? Liam Neeson. At least you know what you're getting. When's the last time you watched a Liam Neeson movie that wasn't any good? They're all good. Especially the one where he's checking the list off and he just keeps killing people in the snow. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it right now. Day of the Jackal, fantastic movie. Oh, that was a great show. I was so sad when it ended. But I think he's going to come back. He's going to get his wife, right? All right. What are we doing here? Okay. Oh, there's lions? Oh, okay. I don't got my 9mm because we're in Rome. All right. By the way, how you like my new glasses? Typical, right? Bald guy, Jewish bald guy with dark rim glasses. Like there's like a team of us on the internet. Now I look like Chris Sabo. Here's an old reference to you. You know who Chris Sabo is? No, you don't. All right, we're getting short the market right now. Okay. All right. Red Stirs Benjamin. Yeah, very good. He was awesome for a while. He had the goofy goggles. Okay. All right. We're schmoozing tonight with Benzel. Okay. All right. Oh, by the way, I'm going on stage. Yeah. I went to a couple of day trading. I went to a couple of comedy clubs, getting my feel on. You want to hear fun? Want to hear something funny? So I started uptown. I'm a recovering Democrat liberal, right? So I got my liberal tendencies, my Democratic ways. My dad set me straight. It was my father's fault in the first place. My parents were liberals. My mom is in the I don't give a shit political party now, and my father is he's not a Trump fan, but he's a hardcore Republican now, and that's kind of where I'm at. And I seen the light. Why am I saying this? Oh, right. So I went uptown because comedy in New York, and again, I don't give a shit if I insult people, right? But I just don't feel like getting into some fisticuffs with some terrorists. You know what I'm saying? And I know people are hypersensitive to this whole LGBTQ LMNOP kind of thing, right? So I'm talking to my wife, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go uptown first. Maybe it won't be everybody with their liberal jokes and making fun of Trump. First guy gets up there. How you doing? Married, got 2 kids. My son has just come out as gay, but then he realized that he's trans. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The first comedian I've seen, I haven't been to a comedy club in 12 years. First guy doing exactly the last thing I wanted to hear. So then he goes on. No joke yet. He says, so, and I forgot what the punchline was to the story. He says, oh, so then his daughter, who is now coming out to him as trans. And I'm like, is this guy writing the joke for me? Because I have a joke where if you have 2 trans kids, not only is it mathematically impossible, you're a bad parent. Nobody's got 2 trans kids. What are you living in Hollywood? What are you, Megan Fox? You got 3 trans kids? The mathematical odds of having one person that's truly trans. Remember what it used to mean? Remember? When you were fucking Buffalo Bill. Remember the days where you had your transvestites, right? Yeah, and it was we didn't hate them. All right, this guy wants to dress up as a woman. All right, you do you. Hello, Frisco. Right? And now suddenly it became a movement. It became a fad. Right? So I'm sitting there going, holy shit, I don't want to fight with this guy. I mean, I'm trying to make friends. I go to the comedy clubs. I wanted to try to, again, I'm the oldest guy there, of course. This guy's not talking about his 2 trans kids. I just want to raise my hand. Yeah, this isn't funny. You're just a bad parent. Yeah, teach your kids well. Teach your kids better. Either you're gay is fine. Teach your kids what fads are and don't be part of it. Oh, so his joke was he's insulted when people ask him if their kids had the surgery yet. And he's like, well, would you ask a straight guy if he had a vasectomy? I mean, these weren't good jokes. But the point of my story is the first words out of the first comic was a transgender freaking soliloquy. And I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me!" And uh, I got to tell you, then this other woman came on, and she did jokes about her fat. I don't want to be completely disgusting here, but her private parts, as she referred to them as chubby, and she says she has such a large camel toe that it's it's seen through jeans, and she went on and on about her fat chubby private parts, and I'm sitting there going, wow, where do I go from here? So I got transgender guy into fat vag girl. Then comes the sickest dude who I recognized from like 12 years ago from Coney Island. The last time I was ever on stage was 12 years ago at some comedy festival because a friend of mine was doing it. Bro, same dude. He's got to be like 75 years old. He's got no act. He just gets on stage and he looks at something and starts yelling at it. And it never ended. And it's so awkward that you have to laugh. Either you're frightened, like the guy next to me, he's like, holy shit. The guy that was going on next, I'm like, you're going to have to follow this guy. He's like, holy shit. This dude screamed on the top of his lungs. 75, maybe, this guy had to be 75, 80 years old, going absolutely freaking ballistic. Oh, wait a minute. I think I caught some of it. I'm hysterically laughing because I realize I seen this guy. Oh no, that was the end of it.
I got 6 bucket lists I'm making up, baby. I got 16 bucket lists, baby. I'm 697 years old. I'm 647 years, baby. I'm 296 years old, man. I'm 4,988 years old, man. I'm 77.
There was no setups. There was no punchlines. Then the sign, he starts fighting the sign and he's cursing at the sign behind him. He's, you motherfucking sign, I'll fucking kill. And rage, the rage that it's real. And it's frightening and exhilarating all at the same time. And then he gets off the stage. I walk right up to him like, dude, you're a madman. He says, thanks. Thanks. Guy was going crazy. So my first night out, it was just insane. I mean, and then this one kid, I just wanted to like, listen, buddy, I don't know what you're on, but choose one. Choose one. You could see he was all fucking strung out. Must have been Adderall, weed, maybe some fucking mushrooms. Kid was all over the place. Eyes bugging out, sweating. I'm like, bro, choose one drug and make that your go-to. Because whatever you're doing right now, it's not working out for you. Because if you've done drugs, you know that look. What? I don't know. I don't even smoke weed. All right, listen. That's my time. My name's Kenny Glick. You come see me at the Producers Club next Friday at 5 o'clock. So I'm going to start off with my joke. My wife hates the jokes. I do some shock comedy to see how the audience resists, the audience reacts. My favorite one is, I just say it so I, kind of like, it's really nice to be here. This place kind of reminds me of what my father used to tell me. He would sit me down and say, son, no one gives head like your sister. And you wait. You usually get a groan or laughs. Depends. But I tell you one thing. You don't smoke weed, Kenny. Oh, I tell you something. I smoked some good weed that night. Oh, speaking of that, check this out. I found something new and exciting for you. Yeah, I blew a speaker in my car also. It wasn't the best day to come out to do stand-up comedy, but I blew a speaker in my car on the way here. Yeah, he must have been a motivational speaker because I am feeling much better about myself. I just can't get the taste out of my mouth. What? Yo, check these out. These are dog walker joints, minis, but that are infused with live resin. And these are my new fave. These are, I don't know if it was worth $42 for 5 small J's, but it was that right. I mean, that was good. I was quite happy. Some weed kind of makes you too introspective, and then I don't want to be funny because I'm thinking too much. That made me giddy. I should have got up on stage immediately, but right now I'm just making the rounds. I'm getting my feelers out. So I got a list of 8 places that I want to go see. I saw 2.5 of them. So now I'm going to go check out a couple. I'm going to go back to Rodney's First Avenue, if you guys know the city, Comic Strip Live, Uptown, 70 something. And then I'll start filming it, putting them on YouTube, and maybe maybe somebody will find me funny. I get a real job. Go work back in TV, trade in the morning, kick ass, and then go to another job. I don't know. Have some fun. Can't be sitting here all summer, all day, and all night. All right. On that note, I'll be here all day and all night. See you later. Email me.